Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are digging into a question that honestly affects just about anyone with a bank account. What's the real hidden cost of playing it safe with your savings? We're going to break down the key ideas from a really interesting article by Wellspring to figure that out.
So let's just jump right in with a pretty provocative question. You work hard, you put your money in a bank to keep it safe, maybe even hope it'll grow a little bit. But what if that safe place is actually, quietly, making you poorer every single day?
Okay, here's the heart of the problem. Right here on the screen. On one side, you have your savings account, which might be paying you, what, 0.25% in interest if you're lucky? But on the other side, you've got inflation, the speed at which the cost of everything is going up. And that's often chugging along at 3 or 4%. See the gap? If inflation is higher than your interest rate, your money is losing its buying power. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and the article we're looking at has a great name for this. They call it the safe savings trap. We feel secure when we see that balance in our bank account, right? But that feeling, it can actually hide the slow motion erosion of our money's actual value. It's something you might not even notice until you really need that money down the road.
And this quote from the article, it just hits the nail on the head. All that conventional wisdom we were taught about saving, it's really being put to the test by the way the economy works today. Just because something feels safe doesn't automatically make it the smartest move for your financial future.
Okay, so let's get this out of the abstract and into the real world. The article gives us this great case study, a kind of tale of two options for where you could park your cash for just 1 year.
So, let's meet our hero, Sarah. She's managed to save up a solid $10,000, and she wants to put it somewhere for a year and let that money work for her. The big question is, where should she put it?
So here we go. Sarah's got her 10,000 bucks ready to go. Her first thought, naturally, is the traditional route. A standard savings account at her bank offering a pretty typical 0.25% APY. But then she comes across an alternative mentioned in the article, something like Wellspring, which is offering a 10% APY. I mean, the contrast on paper it's huge. So what does that actually look like in real dollars after 1 year?
All right, fast forward 1 year. Let's look at the results. Because the difference between these two choices, well, that's what this is all about.
And the results are just crystal clear. In a traditional bank, Sarah's 10 grand earned her a whopping $25, maybe enough to buy a few fancy coffees. With the alternative, though, she earned a full $1,000. Her end balance is just way, way higher.
That's a $975 difference. That right there is the opportunity cost. It's the money Sarah basically left on the table by choosing the quote-unquote safe option. Think about what that is. That could have been a plane ticket, a new laptop, or a huge boost to her emergency fund.
And here's another way to think about it that's just kind of staggering. Her earnings weren't just a little better. They were 40 times higher. 40! That really puts the scale of what we're talking about into perspective. Okay, I know what you're thinking. A 10% return, how on earth is that even possible? And is this some exclusive thing for, Wall Street pros? Well, the article explains that the whole philosophy behind this alternative is opening up these higher yield strategies to everyone.
So, according to the source, these returns come from the world of decentralized finance, or DeFi, using protocols that lend out digital assets to people who need to borrow them, and they do it at high rates. Now, while these platforms are built to be super accessible, like you can get started with just $50, it's absolutely crucial to remember that higher yields always come with higher risks compared to a government-insured bank account.
This new model of finance, it also completely changes the idea of who's in control. The goal isn't just about chasing a higher return. It's about getting that return without having to hand over your money to a big traditional institution.
And that brings us to this really important term the article points out, self-custody. So unlike a bank where they hold your money for you, self-custody means that you and only you are in direct control of your own assets.
So what does that actually mean for you day to day? Well, it boils down to freedom and flexibility. There are no lockup periods or waiting times that you see in a lot of other investments. Your funds stay liquid, which is just a fancy way of saying you can move them or take them out whenever you want. It's your money on your schedule.
And the article really brings it all home with this one powerful idea. When your money is just sitting there, not really growing, you're not just missing out on potential gains. No, you are actively paying a price. And that price is lost opportunity and, even more critically, lost purchasing power.
And that leaves us right here with one last question for you to think about. If your money isn't growing at a rate that's at least beating inflation, what is it actually doing? It's a good question to ask.